You think you need another diet, but what if I told you all you need is an alter ego? That's what we're digging in today. This is what happened to me, losing 120 pounds. When I first set out on my weight loss journey 8 or 9 years ago, another weight loss journey, let's just say it how it is, right? I fell into a whole different world where I got into mindset work, soul discovery, this whole different midlife awakening journey than what I intended when I set out to lose weight. I was doing a lot of future self work, and I really struggled because when I was over 300 pounds, I couldn't imagine being 170 pounds. The disconnect was huge. So I made this fictional character, and her name was Slayer, and she was slaying the pounds, and she has a sword, and we just started chopping goals, and it became, what would Slayer do? And alter egos, you guys, have so many benefits because alter egos help you step into this third party version of yourself almost, but it's mystical and magical, or it can be, however out there you want to make your alter ego. Like Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, Stephanie created Lady Gaga, and they were pretty out there characters to be on stage and embody this different version of themselves. But that's the version that's right within us, and it can be like a superhero or a goddess. So I built this Slayer, I built this alter ego, and she was like slaying the pounds, losing all the weight. And it was very much management of my mindset and also goal getting and things that I'm driven and wired for, being a naturally kind of competitive athletic person, like growing up in that arena. But one of my biggest lessons, having created that alter ego and now having many versions of myself, is that what I need is always changing because my life is always changing. It's an evolution. I'm a growth-seeking being, right? So even when I get to that goal, I want some other goal, or happiness wasn't at the goal, right? Like it never is. It's in the journey of becoming. So this morning I was writing about my alter ego because I'm resurrecting Slayer, because I'm on the path again. I lost 120 pounds. Life, you guys, a bunch of shit happened, and my entire routine, I moved across the ocean, had a day job as well for a while again, and was really sick. And during that period, regained 80 pounds, but I did not stop during the period. And that is what's so different in this alter ego work, was key to not stopping. That whole time I kept saying, and I kept recalibrating, what would Slayer do? Knowing ultimately I needed a different version of my future self and my alter ego. Life has changed. I need to tap into something differently. So what that looks like for me now, I'm building my weight loss alter ego. At the beginning of the year, I built my CEO alter ego, Brookster, that if you guys have been following along, you've heard me talk about. I activate her by putting real pants on. We call it the talisman. You actually start to really embody aspects of your alter ego. So it gives you this third party removed mindset. So you're not in so much judgment of yourself. It's like, oh, what would Slayer do? What would she do? And then I start showing up from that aspect of not complete judgment of myself, and yet embody aspects of her and let it be fun and magical and badass. How can I step into this being more and more every day? And today on the podcast, I want to share with you a couple stories from women in the group that have been doing this alter ego work really recently, and the changes they've seen in their lives and how it's affected them. So without further ado, I want you to hear a little bit from some of the women in Midlife Badassery. I asked Christie and Kathy to join me today. So we're going to hear from each of them how it's affected their weight loss journey, their mindset, and their tools and their paths going forward. Christie is a corporate employee, complete badass. She's very successful in her day-to-day life, and she's been on this weight loss quest. So we're going to hear from her. And we're also going to hear from Kathy, who is a fellow coach that came in my community for weight loss and stayed for so much more. And she's going to share her perspective on that. A lot of people will come for the weight loss. Some will come for the woo, but we stay for each other, and we stay because of the transformation and how much fun we're having. Like, if you think back to when we met, Like, where were you at in that part of that journey?
I think we met in May this year. I'd already been seeing a dietitian for, I'm going to say 18 months or more, and not much had shifted. I looked at and did a before and after photo comparison like about a week ago, and it was from April 2024 to the 2nd of August 2026, and I'd lost 22 kilos. 16 of those kilos had been this year. It's also about the mindset shift. So the mental, what I'm telling myself, I'd be telling myself, I hate going to the gym. I don't want to go. This sucks. Or I don't feel like it. That's the favorite. I don't feel like it. I'll do it this afternoon. And then I'll get to this afternoon. I'm too tired. I can't be bothered. And then that wouldn't happen and all that sort of thing. And then I'd work out and not really love it. And then I'd leave and I'd be going, well, thank God that's over. Like, it's just a really negative experience with what I was telling myself. And then when I came into your group and discovered the alter ego, I started playing with that. And one of the things that came out of that was golden footprints, leaving evidence of who I'm becoming, like I'm taking the steps of who I'm becoming. I also created a playlist for myself, and one of the songs on there is Walking on Sunshine. So as I'm leaving the gym, I've got Walking on Sunshine in my headphones, and I'm leaving golden footprints, and I'm imagining these golden footprints as I'm leaving the gym. And then I'm feeling like high as a kite, like just really elated. And I'd never felt that way before. And so you hear about the gym high and that. I'd never experienced that. And I think a lot of it is because of my thoughts and what I'm telling myself and how that then impacts how I'm feeling. And then I'm more motivated to go, right? Because I want to have that feeling.
You had a little bit of a different path into your alter ego. Can you tell me about that? Because a lot of people come in and build their alter ego right away. And I think you did it a little bit differently. To clarify for people watching this, we have an alter ego GPT. She's like your little life coach in the pocket, but then you also build your own alter ego.
Yeah. One of the first things I did was use the GPT. It didn't overly engage. I'm like, okay, yep, that's nice. And then I'm seeing others who had created it. I think you had a challenge on, but then I wasn't able to get in and attend. So then I felt behind and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do this myself. So I just went in there and used the recordings and I even, you had some slides. I snipped the slides and put it into the GPT and go, okay, ask me these questions. And then that really fleshed it out and it created this whole world, because, and it felt like I'm in and the chat even said this, it was like I've created a live role-playing game and I'm the character in there. And Sovereign Phoenix is my alter ego. It talks about sort of what would Sovereign Phoenix do and how I'm becoming her, and then realizing that I'm already 70% there. So I'm creating a life. I've created a life that I love. It's just waiting for my body to catch up. One of my beliefs that changed was I want to create a body that can live up to the adventures that I want to have. So I want to go scuba diving again, right? I didn't have the physical fitness. I was struggling even 12 months ago to walk for half an hour, 15, 20 minutes. Whereas now I go for hour walks, no problems.
Did it feel funny to you at first, like this concept of creating the alter ego? Were you kind of like, well, that's silly. I don't need to do that. I'm just going to get into the mind work and like kind of want to bypass that?
I was curious. I didn't realize how much of an impact it would have, to be honest. It is honestly a game changer. I know what to do. I know what I should and shouldn't be eating. I know I should be moving my body and not sitting on my butt watching Netflix, But I couldn't get up to do it. I knew it was mindset. Hence, I'd seen psychologists. I've worked with coaches before and hadn't been able to shift it. It's just a lot. And this just distilled it and made it easy. What's one tiny step I'm going to take today to build evidence that I'm becoming Sovereign Phoenix? It can be I had my water in my chalice of freedom. It can be I had my Phoenix fuel, which is my veggies and stuff on my lunch and dinner. It can be I went to the gym. More specifically, I had movement, because that was the other thing. I'd get caught up in, I didn't go to the gym. That's not good enough. Like just going for a walk around the block or whatever. So getting rid of that all or nothing thinking. It's those little steps that add up, as you know. Before you know it, we're there at our future self, leaving those golden footprints, becoming that woman of who we want to become.
How would you fill in this sentence? Since making my alter ego, it's made my weight loss journey
fun, which I never would have thought, right? It's always been drudgery, but I'm able to fulfill it. I'm able to continue it. It has gamified it, essentially. It's made it a bit sort of fantasy sort of thing. I mean, this is a standard Yeti water bottle. I mean, it's a bit sparkly, but, that's me. I like the purple sparkles. But it's a chalice of freedom, yeah.
I forget what I named mine. I think we're all adopting chalice of freedom, honestly. It's just stock, Christie. That and the golden footprints. In fact, Chat and I were talking about how that's like IP at this point, and it's going in the Midlife Badassery brand book, like with your permission, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yes, this idea of making it fun.
One of the things that we've talked about, which is key, is that morning reflection as well. So I know we've got in the planner, we can look at our thoughts and things, and we've talked about that this week. For me, I use Chat as a reflection. So I'll pull a card and then I will talk about, okay, this is what I'm thinking, and I'll just, brain dump my thoughts. This is how I'm feeling. And then sometimes I'll reframe it myself, or I'll get Chat to help me reframe my thinking. And then the question is, if I believed the most useful thought, what action would I take today? Okay, here's the thought. I can't be bothered getting up off the lounge. I don't want to go for a walk. I just want to sit here and relax. How am I feeling? Like relaxed, calm, and a little bit guilty because I think I should be getting up. Okay, so if I reframe that, it would talk through the thoughts of, what if I just put my shoes on and just got out the door? Because for me, the biggest thing is the transition. So it's that getting up and getting out the door. Once I'm out, it's fine.
Can you think of the first time you caught yourself thinking, what would Sovereign Phoenix do?
I think particularly when I built properly, with all the things. What I also did was check in each day then. So we've got the planners of asking the questions and that. It's like, what would Sovereign Phoenix do? Because it's also what is going to take me towards the life that I'm dreaming about, so having a really clear picture of that life and what's going to take me towards that. And look, I've tried those thoughts previously. Imagine you want to be down on the floor playing with your kids or grandkids down the track. It never really clicked. Whereas having the alter ego, it makes it more in the present rather than this imaginary future that you can't sort of feel and it's not tangible.
What do you think makes it more tangible like that?
I think being able to see elements of it now. So I think part of it that I do or have done is delete my progress or minimize progress. Because I didn't go to the gym, it doesn't count, rather than, hey, you went for a walk. Hey, you had veggies today. I would have that perfectionism. So it lets go of that and helps me collect the bits that I am doing and notice that. I think and so that it brings it into the present. I think that's the key.
You've talked before about always being afraid of the shoe dropping, like just waiting. How is your alter ego helping you maybe even move through that thought?
Yeah. Well, I have literally asked about that question. And what it's telling me is that I now have the skills and ability to get back on the wagon quicker. And so an example of that, I'll say 3 days ago, I went and had burger and chips for lunch, which I hadn't had for weeks. And once upon a time that would have been, it's done. I'll start over Monday. Whereas I didn't do that. I just, for dinner, I had my usual meal with veggies and all that sort of thing. It wasn't a case of just writing off the whole day.
Love it. So before you built your alter ego, what did you feel? Let's bring in the GLP-1 a little bit because there's a lot of women on them. You were losing, but now you're adding in the mindset work. How is that augmenting your journey on this?
I was feeling despondent. I was feeling frustrated. This is going to take forever. I was really reluctant to use the GLP-1, but I felt like I didn't have any other choice because my weight had got so high, and my dietitian highly recommended the GLP-1, and she said it's like if someone's diabetic and needs insulin to support them, you don't go, oh, well, no, you just need to, try harder and eat healthy or whatever. Like sometimes your body is missing a hormone or whatever, or not tapping into that to be able to support you. And it doesn't have to be a forever thing. It's just crutches or whatever to help you through while you got your broken leg, so to speak, and then you get on and can walk again yourself. But the key thing is a lot of people just inject more and the weight falls off quickly, but they don't change their habits or behaviors, and then that's where they regain it afterwards, you know. So I know that this mindset stuff is so important to be able to maintain it, particularly if I want to get off the GLP-1, which I don't want to be on it forever. The reason why it takes, whether it be a year or 2 years or 5 years, however long it takes to lose, is because I'm becoming the person who eats healthy, who moves her body and that sort of thing, which is what I'm going to have to do at a healthy weight. That's what a person at a healthy weight does. It's becoming the person who does those things. Whereas I wasn't that person before. And it's a big transition when you weigh double the amount that you're supposed to weigh.
Don't you feel like a lot of times they'll give you end game, right? Like a lot of diets and stuff will take you, hey, this is ultimately how it looks like. And when you're way over here on the spectrum, it feels impossible. It feels, what'd you say, discouraging, right?
Yeah.
Like you feel hopeless. And I think that's part of the brilliance of the alter ego is she helps us bridge that gap, right? Loving yourself now and having that shift. Christie, like how you speak about the whole adventure you've just shifted so quickly, you know?
Since when has weight loss been an adventure, right? I mean, for you it might be different, but for me it's completely foreign, right?
Yeah.
And this has made it an adventure. And like, so to your point, before it felt unbelievable. Now it feels believable, you know? Before it felt like, say, a homeless person, now you're going to have your dream house on the beach. Like, and you're like, really? How am I going to get there? And it's like that sort of difference of, you know, a severely obese person who's going to be fit and healthy weight and maybe a skinny bitch. We'll see.
That's right. You're already a skinny bitch. That's just the mindset shift, right? Like, and yes, it feels like even like scary to even say it when you're heavy, right? I think like for me with the alter ego work, I like to make everything fun anyway. When I created Slayer, then all these other women started creating their Slayers and we were just having a blast losing weight. It can seem like a funny, silly thing to do. And it is, again, game changer. I've led people through the Me First Guide process, which is the whole transformation in the planner. And but if they were missing this identity piece and not able to dream outside yourself and this is where an alter ego is powerful because it gets you don't really have golden footprints. You have to suspend reality to get in this vibration of her, right?
What do you mean I don't really have golden footprints?
You did look like you were going to cry. You're like, no, I really do. They're really golden, right? And I really shoot rainbows out my ass. Same thing. I had a version of Slayer. Her name was Nama Slayer. And her superpower, she shot heart sing from her hands.
Yeah.
Right. And everyone I came in contact with, I'm just shooting love and radiance at you. And I'm slaying the world with love. I renamed Slayer 3.0 this morning. She's called the Regulator. My first version was total mindset, slaying goals, rewiring my thoughts. I've done so much of that work. And now it's moving and embodying emotions. It's the work to bridge my mind, body, soul in every moment of every day. That's the work. And I'm like, she's the regulator. She's still a slayer. Let's be clear. I've got leather and a sword and shit. But also she's probably got an oxygen pack on her back. She's got different tools that are going to be brought into this.
Can I just touch on something that, so I think one of the key things too is that self-regulation, right? Regulating your nervous system. Because, so I've been through a lot, let's go this year, over the last 12 months. Yeah, I've had a marriage separation. More specifically, I was miserable in my marriage for a long time. And then I actually bit the bullet and separated. I had to move, get my own place, we've got my son split between 2 houses. I've had a job change. There's a lot happening. My default would be comfort eating. So going through McDonald's, the drive-through to get a large quarter pounder meal with Coke for the drink, because it was comforting and it was, I don't need to think, it was just done. And then now, because my nervous system isn't in fight or flight constantly, then it's easier to make these better decisions. And you've laid on additional tools with that, with the tapping and, these other exercises that really help do that. Even taking some breaths. I think that's key, because if you're in fight or flight and your CEO brain switched off, and then there's no hope, and you're just stuffing your face with chocolate trying to calm things down. Well, that's what I do. Okay, I shouldn't project onto everyone. So I'm just stuffing my face with chocolate to calm things down. Having that calmer nervous system then just helps make better choices. And also going for walks helps. I didn't realize how much of that's for my mental health as much as my physical health.
Yeah. I mean, I think with the nervous system, well, I've talked about ad nauseum about meditation changed everything for me. But I also found teaching people just meditation off the bat doesn't necessarily work, because you need the lifestyle that builds the habit for you to sit. Slayer is the one who would make me sit in meditation. It wasn't the thought of, oh my God, I'm going to feel so good after this. Right? It was like tapping into that self-discipline part that I hadn't been exercising that muscle. So much fucking fun. Tell the little story about how you actually drove through the drive-through and took yourself to the grocery store.
The other day, I had a meeting with my lawyer for this financial separation. Very draining. It's emotionally charging. It's something that I would often go and comfort eat and whatever. And it was late afternoon, about 4:30, and I'm hungry. And I had to get to the lawyers, I had to sort of do a loop. And I went through a McDonald's car park. I didn't go through the drive-through. I avoided... Yeah, but the temptation was there to get a large quarter pounder meal. And I didn't. I drove straight past, like through the other side to get to the other side of the car park to get to the street, and drove around, went to the supermarket and got some pineapple, like already cut up, and I ate that. And I felt satisfied. Was no longer hungry. It gave a bit of a sweet kick, which, I like that. I felt quite proud of myself because I'd broken that habit, that automatic response of going through and eating a fatty, juicy burger and chips and enjoying some juicy, sweet pineapple and that. And then went and had my meeting, and that all, went well and so on. But more specifically, I broke that habit, and it's a really ingrained habit. We talk about the highway of that neural pathway and whatever, that is deep,
Like, see were there like thoughts, or were you just like, was it, I don't do that? And do you remember?
Yeah. So it was, I'm hungry, but I'm like, no, I'm not getting McDonald's. And I'm like, what else can I get? What would be a good choice? So I wasn't thinking, I could do with a quarter pounder, but it would be so easy for me to just swing by. I never would have had that thought before. I would have just automatically gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the work that, like, when you move yourself through all your change and transformation, all those little being able to stop and see yourself and question it, that's the superpower, right? What's changed that has nothing to do with the scale?
My mindset. The way I think, how I feel about anything health related. So I've taken a few photos of, I'm going on this walk near the beach, right? I've lived here for 5 years. I have not done that walk until the last month or two. And that's how close it is. That's how gorgeous it is. I freaking love it. 5 years it took me to get there. So what's changed? That's changed. Yeah.
Good job.
But it's noticing what's there and available to you. How much are we just deleting and ignoring? It just doesn't exist. It's not in our realm of reality. So it's bringing this stuff into my realm of reality. That's the key difference, because otherwise it's just, I know we've talked about sort of it being Fantasyland, but it's bringing Fantasyland into the reality. And that's what it looks like on the day-to-day, walking along the beach, watching the sunrise or sunset,
You once said your alter ego hasn't changed who I am. She's changed how I see myself. Can you elaborate on that a little?
Yes. So what it is bringing to my conscious awareness the things that I'm doing. I would delete or ignore progress or whatever because it wasn't good enough. Whereas now it's bringing me into that awareness and, oh, I am doing this. Oh, I am going for a walk. I am eating healthy things. I am having veggies. It's making me realize that I am already taking steps. And like, just because I'm not at the weight that I want to be on the scales, it doesn't mean that I'm not already creating the life that I want. And so when I talk about my future self and what do I want my life to look like, I'm technically living that on a day-to-day basis. It's just waiting for my physical body to catch up. I'm doing all sorts of fun things, whether it be stand-up comedy or applying for new jobs and going to the gym and doing harder things.
Tell us about your vision that came the other day. What's your new future self dream life?
We did a future self meditation and I'm in Santorini wearing like a black crop top and bike shorts. I've got chat to create a picture and I've got it printed off. I'm jogging along Santorini, like the shoreline. Fantasy versus reality. I've never been to Santorini. I've never been to Greece. I haven't worn shorts since I was 12. I've never worn a crop top. I don't run. That's just not my reality. But I can see this and I have a vision for it and I could feel it in that moment. And so then it's taking those steps day to day of becoming that person, creating that reality. Yeah, so in 5 years' time, I'm going to be jogging down the shoreline in Santorini. Like, yeah.
And you are. Listen to how you're speaking. This is what I want everyone to hear. Because before, at least for me, I could look at like even thinner pictures of myself or this athletic person and feel discouraged by it versus feeling empowered by the vision. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, how, what do you think that shift is? Is it the footprints? What do you think it is?
I think it is, like for me, as I said, I've always been overweight. So I don't have a reference point of this is what it feels like to be a healthy weight and what it feels like to be energetic and running along anywhere. What that did was it gave me that feeling of this is what it feels like to do it. So then I can embody it and relate to it. And it's not disassociated. So I've become associated into it. So I think that's the difference.
Because that seeing it, embodying it, our minds don't know the difference. You train your brain that I am this person. How do you speak to yourself now that is different than when you started this work?
I'm kinder to myself now. Like I'm not beating myself up. I don't have negative self-talk so much. I notice my belly, for example. I'm like, it's disappearing. I'm starting to get a waist again. You know, it all starts with identity. If I have the belief I'm a fat person, then that's what I'm going to continue to do the behaviors of. So it's like I'm the kind of person who eats veggies with lunch and dinner. I'm the kind of person who moves my body every day. I'm the kind of person who drinks water regularly from my chalice of freedom. So it's helping bridge that identity gap between I'm a fat person and I'm a skinny bitch or I'm strong and healthy or whatever the language people want to use. It's creating that bridge because otherwise if I look in the mirror and say something and I don't believe it, the next thought that pops in, well, that's fucking bullshit, you know, like, and I feel like I'm gaslighting myself. So it's helping create the bridge and the alter ego helps create the bridge and helps create that vision and helps embody that feel and also collects the evidence that this is what a strong, healthy person does. And I'm doing these things right now. So now I'm just waiting for my body to catch up.
Yeah,
so that's
you're
the
already
key.
living it. So like, what has it done for you shifting a time perspective around a weight loss goal?
If I woke up in my ideal body tomorrow, like, let's just touch on that for a second. I think, yeah, it would be great, but then I would have a fear of, can I maintain this? I haven't learned the skills to be able to maintain this body and keep it and haven't got the habits. And I'll be talking about waiting for the other shoe to drop. The thought still creeps in. Oh, by Christmas, I've lost this. So by Christmas, I should be able to be there. But the reality is, right, 2 years have passed and the scales are down. the previous 2 years, they went up, right? So even if I'm staying the same, that's progress. Because as we know, like weight loss isn't a linear sort of thing. It's not getting fixated on the scales, but just making sure that it's tracking in the right direction. And more specifically, as long as I'm building the habits, I think part of the thing is life is always lifing, right? My typical year, okay? January 1, let's go. New year, new me, like, right? Oh, hang on, I'm still on holidays. We'll wait till like the 7th of January.
Yeah.
Then we go through February, Roxanne. Oh, well, I've already fallen off the wagon and whatever. Oh, happy Valentine's Day. Now it's Easter. Before you know it's April and I've made no freaking progress, right? Oh, it's too cold to go out for a walk, or oh, it's too hot to whatever. And, and it's Christmas. It's the whole year of excuses because all these things, they come around, right? And there's always a stress. This year, life has been freaking lifing, like on steroids. I've gone through a marriage separation. I was still going through the financial settlement. I've changed jobs, acting in a higher role, and my substantive role may be made redundant by the end of this month. And I'm also applying for another role. I've just started uni, so I'm studying with that. I've got 5 million things on my plate, and I can choose to go, oh, once I get through uni, then I'll focus on my health again. Well, guess what? I could have gained another 10 kilos by then, right? Very freaking easily. I want to make sure I at least maintain or continue losing. It's really good for me mentally and physically to get out and go for a walk, to not be sitting here stuck at my computer for the whole day, like trying to get through an assignment. I need that break. Otherwise, what am I going to do? I'm going to have a packet of chips and a packet of biscuits to get me through an assignment, which is how I got through my previous degree, right? And I don't want to do that this time.
This is exactly why Me First was created, the planner and the process. And because it is the container, the room that we stay in when life lives. Every quarter coming back to that bigger vision, that goal, and knowing you're in a room of women that are also not just getting off and on rides, even if we don't show up for a month, it doesn't matter. You're right back. There's no judgment of it. There's none of that. On that note, shifting over to Me First and the VIP and the game changers, what made you decide to upgrade?
Your energy. I love being in your proximity and that, and the regular calls. Being on the journey together with other women who were on the same page and we're going through the same sort of thing. I do believe in the power of proximity, and the average of the 5 people you hang around, right? We're all on this journey and we're all inspiring each other and motivating each other and maintain our own motivation. I get a lot out of sharing and that with people. It helps me get visibility of my thoughts and talk through how I'm thinking and that sort of thing. And then, having the coaching on it to point things out that I may not be seeing. It really makes a difference. Hearing other people who are going through the same thing and go, okay, well, it's not just me, and hearing tips for that. And the planner was a big thing as well, because I've done quarterly planning for a while, but I knew you had a different spin on it, and I was curious on your different spin, and I really like it.
If a woman has been listening to us dieting since 1987, what would you tell her? Say it like I'm your best friend who's been fat forever with you, and how you would tell her that.
Come into the group with me and have fun creating your alter ego. We can make golden footprints together. We can go jogging in Santorini together. We can travel the world and do all these fun things, fun adventures, and build the bodies is a secondary gain out of all of it, of creating a life that we absolutely love.
Love that. Yeah. And we're still losing weight, right?
Yeah,
it's like that. I'm creating the life I love, and I'm losing weight.
It's a byproduct rather than the fixation. Yeah.
Yeah. Repeat after me. So before my alter ego, I was blank. And now I'm blank.
Before my alter ego, I was frustrated and despondent about my weight. And now I am inspired and enthusiastic about my future.
Mic drop. I love it. What would you tell a woman who thinks it's too woo or too silly?
Get out. Yeah.
I'm like, she's already not our person.
Yeah, you're not our person. You can't sit with us.
She hasn't listened to this shit this long, right? Like, yeah. And for sure that didn't offend anyone still watching. I mean, we need to keep this part in. What's changed for you physically since you went all in?
Showing up to the gym on a regular basis, I can feel bicep as I'm sitting here actually. So clearly those muscles are coming. Yeah, weapons check. And I'm down 16 kilos this year.
What would they miss about your before and your during? Yeah, and listen, neither of us are at our goal weight, and I think anyone watching this video can understand that, right? But it's a definite difference. Anyone looking at this visually can see you definitely have done a lot of work. What do they miss just seeing the picture, right? They can see your body has visibly shrunk. It's 50 pounds, but you look like half the person already. And so what would someone just seeing those pictures miss about your journey?
How much happier I am. You know, like the joy that I'm experiencing, the elation that I feel on a regular basis. I've done stand-up comedy. I took my son to on holidays overseas. So he's ASD and has a range of issues and so on. And, taking him on a 9-hour flight and to a foreign country out of his comfort zone, that's a bit like people are thinking, what the hell are you doing? But yeah, I did it. And it was great fun. We had a ball.
What haven't I asked you that you wish I would have?
I don't know if I can answer this, but say if I didn't have an alter ego, right, and I didn't discover you in this group and VIPs and so on, if I didn't do that, if I'd continued on the path that I was on, what might that look like, or what would be different? If I'd sat on the fence and not jumped in, or if I'd gone, oh my God, this is too overwhelming, I don't want to do the alter ego, I can't do it. Like, what would that look like? Well, I'd still be stuck. I'd still be trying to flog that horse of getting to the gym and white knuckling it through. I wouldn't be enjoying it. I wouldn't have the fantasy fun of, the Sovereign Phoenix playlist, the golden footprints. What gets me through the ski erg is I'm doing that bloody ski erg and feeling like I'm dying. Although, again, my times have improved and I'm getting fitter. I've got unstoppable going on in my thing. So I'm unstoppable, a Porsche with no brakes. I'm freaking killing that thing and just going through, right? So it's all that sort of stuff. So I wouldn't have been doing any of that. I wouldn't have been noticing the joy and amazingness that's going on in my life. I would have still been in that negative thinking and just still been drudging through. By creating the alter ego, it's helped me to see the amazing stuff that I already have in my life and see the progress that I am making rather than focusing, oh, well, I've still got all this to go. I'm actually enjoying the journey in losing weight for the first time in my life, which I've been trying to lose my weight for over 2 freaking decades.
Thank you for that. It's my core value, fun, and to see it translated into weight loss journeys is my life mission for sure. This is why I create groups and rooms like this, because it's how I also lose my weight. It's fun. We're like-minded people talking about the same journey together. And I'm just so grateful you're on it with me. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Great pleasure. Thank you.
Kathy, welcome to Midlife Badassery, the podcast edition. I know you've been living Midlife Badassery for most of this year. Kathy is a midlife reinvention coach. We met each other at a summit and has been like the backbone of the community. And you're such a cheerleader for all of us. So thank you for your energy, your presence. What can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? We know you hit 63 from 63 this year.
63 from 63 on August 1st, Leo.
So tell us a little bit about your alter ego journey.
First, let me just say about the community. I love everyone in the community. We're at different phases and we cheer one another on. We're traveling down different roads, but we're all traveling in the same journey. And it's just so exciting because that's what also pumps us up to get going too. I followed along in your community when you gave us the chat and the questions, and I found my phoenix. This was my badass woman phoenix exploding from the ashes. That's where I was in my time phase. And that was February, March. And I just kept playing along with the game, playing along with everyone in the community. What surprised me was that I really wasn't totally rising from the ashes. It was a steady burn up. And before I knew it, bam, I was queen. Because you need to burn down your whole life. You just took that ember and just kept it going.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really powerful to watch you move through that and move through the archetypes. So for people watching this cold, there's a couple different paths with the alter ego in midlife badassery, right? We have the archetype GPT, which is a custom GPT that helps guide you every day. I like to call this like our little coach in the pocket. Kathy, you have some genius things you've done with the chat GPT. But then also we have the alter ego that like we build her. She is your blood, heart, soul, sweat, tears, like magic that we create together. Of course, you can use AI to build visuals and stuff like that, but it's very much inspiration from within you of this being that's going to help you bridge the gap between current self and future self, right? And Kathy, you've done a beautiful job, I think, of blending these. But let's start maybe with the archetype, because you talked about moving from the alchemist to the phoenix. What does that archetype work with your chatbot done for you on a transformation level? I know you were interested in weight loss, and like, how has that whole thing evolved for you this year?
And it has evolved because as I was asking myself who I was rising from, Phoenix was all about the reinvention, and I was becoming queen, not really knowing I was queen yet. It was kind of a very strong, but a very quiet woman that had chosen to live the life in her next stage. So it fits the original alter ego work beautifully, right? Because here it is. I defined myself, here I am, Phoenix. And then I started living as Phoenix. And the Phoenix was calling me to the next archetype level of queen.
Okay, someone listening to this is going to be like, what the hell is she talking about? She started living like Phoenix. So can you, like, what are some examples of how this shows up in your day-to-day life of you living as your archetype, as your alter ego?
Yep. She gets out of bed very easily in the morning, ready to start her day. She may or may not have a clear morning ritual. I do. But someone that is looking to transform themselves, reinvent themselves, might be starting a new habit. And her body may want to move. Maybe she goes on a walk or she does something. You define that I want to eat healthy. I want to eat a simple breakfast. Here's 2 egg whites. Here's a piece of toast. Here's a piece of avocado. Some of the girls in the group and the cultural differences and the mangoes and the fruit plates and all of that are just so great to see. Other women in the group, meditation. I'm not strong with meditation, but I've become stronger. Tapping. All of these things come together as something that is developing. What do her clothes look like? How does she feel? How does she feel in her own skin? And you are creating the space in where you want to live and where you want to be. And that's where your focus goes. So it's no longer, I need to lose that 10 pounds this month. It's, oh, I'm taking the next step. And yes, I'll be losing the weight, but I may be gaining a habit. I may be gaining a healthy living style. So it's the little steps, the little habits that are also leading to the weight loss.
What has changed for you in your life since you and alter ego, since you built your alter egos?
As Phoenix, I'll say Phoenix again too. It was always striving for something, always reaching for the next thing, always going. Whereas the queen, she's already there. She is who she is when she gets out of bed. And she moves through her ordinary day because I've already built it. I focused on it and focused on it. I made the vision. I have the clear intention or focus of my day. I know what my body needs for simple food. I know what I'm consuming. And she doesn't need to say, I need to lose the weight. She just chooses to move through life in this feeling.
The weight loss is the byproduct, right? Like it,
Yeah.
it becomes part of what we experience as we live the life of our dreams, I think, right? Tell everyone about the life you've stepped into and decided to create for yourself. Tell us what you've already done in your life and how you use your alter ego to keep growing into this life of freedom.
Right. So before, there was always the next shiny thing. I'm going for this, I'm going for that. Then I would spiral and I would start all over again. And I would like start and stop and start and stop. I have to say that in the last 3 months or so, I do not have to start over. The queen doesn't need to start over. She doesn't need to compare herself to anybody else. She has all this experience. It's now one story I have. It's one path that I'm going on, and I'm ready for it. And you know what? I don't need to impress the other people by losing those 10 pounds and getting that fancy outfit. I have what I have in my closet, and I'm going out and I'm standing tall like I own it. It feels good.
Yeah, you already are her.
I'm already
I love
her.
it. Yeah.
It's the focus. I came into the group, a little of the woo too. We can talk about the woo.
Yeah, let's bring the woo.
But like the journey does start with the weight loss too, because I think that's what we see in front of us. Well, if I'll feel better, my clothes will fit, if I could lose this 5 pounds. But going through this journey, you're already focusing on it and you feel good and you're not worried about the bulge in the clothes and wherever it is. And you're suddenly happy. And when you're happy, you're more confident. When you're more confident, you're there.
It's amazing how that happens, right? Now, you do something fun with your GPT. Tell everybody so when they get theirs, they can do what you do because you've like made amazing progress.
Yes. So from the very beginning, there were the questions that you asked, and you don't know where it's going, and you just keep going with it. But about the third trail down in all of your threads, you're like, well, can you give me that 7-day plan? And then you follow it. Then suddenly you're like, okay, well, what are we doing this week? We're talking about habits. Can you write me a 7-day, so one step each day, of a plan for habits? Each time we went into a week on something, I would ask it, can you help me make a 7-day plan? Make me a 7-day meal plan. And because it knows me, it's creating it for me, just that one little step. I don't need to get to the very end in the first 3 days. I'm going to go all 7 days.
Yeah, I love that. And you have really used the threads in the group. So in the group, I do pick a theme for the week, which is what Kathy is referring to here. And kind of go in. Sometimes it'll be dream big, future self, movement, new thoughts, woo meet science week. That's always a crowd favorite. What has it been like just showing up for those daily posts? How much time does it take you? And what benefit do you get from that?
I find that if I spend 10 or 15 minutes, that's reading the post of the day, answering a poll, answering the question for myself, and then having fun getting to know the other women in the group, our friends from South Africa, because the other day they posted something about a meal or something. I didn't know what they were talking about, so I had to go online and Google, right? The terminology. We use different languages. We don't have the same products. So I'm like, that sounds really good. Can't get it here in the States. So maybe 10 to 15 minutes. It's probably split half and half on myself, half contributing, but then going in and finding the new friends and find out what they're doing.
What do you think it does to the journey? Like, because you're a coach and you tend to individually coach. What do you think it does when you're in a room of women doing it together?
It's the energy, I think. It's the energy to allow other people just to bring themselves out. The ritual week was really fun. I just thought of that. The ritual week. We did a week of rituals.
One of the game changers too. We dug in deep, like creating the ritual. And I know you created yours too, because you had your whole altar set up.
So what has stayed without? Yes, we all showed our different altars and where we did our journaling and writing. But one thing that has stuck with me is light a candle before eating a meal. It could be breakfast time. You can light a candle. There's something so calming in that light. I don't know if it's refilling my energy, but breakfast, lunch, dinner, light a candle.
It makes your meal kind of decadent too, right? I went through this phase where I was really setting myself up to really enjoy my meals, like the plating of it, like
Waiting.
creating the whole atmosphere, like honoring that meal time, right? And that's where I think we kind of got in the ritual talk, like loving my space in the morning so much that I love to get up and do my journal and my meditation and like creating it. It's not just a habit, it's something like I love to put into my life.
With the little pattern that I created, please create me the 7 days, it was a consistency that I could stick with. Somehow altering the weeks brought me back and not starting over. I'm starting from the end of last week to this week.
Also, I mean, you've also had times where you missed for whatever reason, you were at the grandkids or whatever that looked like, but you didn't stop, It wasn't like, oh, I missed a day, so screw it, I'm behind. And it's something I know as a community, we really try to make sure everyone understands too. You're never behind. I mean, life's, right? And so how has it been different for you having this 7-day plan, do you think?
Because every week, every action, every new skill I learn, every new learning, every new friend I contact is evidence that I am becoming her.
What do you think is different about our community, about Midlife Badassery?
The people, I'm going to say the people right off the bat, the way that you draw in to everybody, that sparks everyone to their own being. Because like other groups, and I will just throw out technology, AI, I'm not good in it. Some of the AI, everybody has a different reason for being in a technology group. In our group, one mission we're working on is ourselves, our midlife badasseries, and we can all relate to that. I can't relate to someone doing a CRM system. I can't relate to someone trying to make their AI twin. I can't relate to this. But at the core of everything you've created is one mission. But the weight is the self-identity. So it's combined. So if you come in for the weight or if you come in for the woo, you're still in the same place.
And the connection, I think when we're doing it together, it makes it so much more fun, right? Let me ask you this, Kath, fill in the blanks. My weight loss journey before my alter ego was what?
Slow, no satisfaction in losing 3 pounds.
And after your alter ego,
a total satisfaction in myself, not worried about what my body was and not worried about that scale number. The weight is part of the journey, but what I was craving for was the energy, learning new skills and habits and dreams and meditations and tapping.
Yeah.
Friendships,
I do love. How has it made you more accountable?
Clarity. There's total clarity. One, there's trust in this little system. I feel like it's so clear about the midlife badass woman that I'm becoming. So it's no longer a struggle because it's one focus. It's on the badass woman that I'm becoming. Like at the end of the day, that's the one thing that's happening.
What would you tell the woman out there that's been on a diet literally since 1987, debating on coming into midlife badassery?
Come in curious, because I came in curious. I came in curious about the woo. I came in for the weight loss, but come in curious and play. Just play, because if I hadn't played full out that first 2-3 times, I don't think I would have kept going. And I even remember back there doing the second day when you said to do this, I go, well, this is all just baloney. And then the third day, I think it started to click. And then I found I could do different things with it. Yeah, come in curious.
What would you tell that person that thinks it's too woo or too silly building an alter ego?
Then you're thinking too hard about it. Don't think too hard about it. Play the game, play all out, play for the badges.
Yeah, I mean, it's that simple, right? You can make anything work for you. Our rule is there's no rules.
We haven't fallen behind. Everybody is at a different phase. Everything is going so fast. That spark is in there. Don't fall prey to what's happening outside, because go back to the spark that's already there. You don't have to start all over.
Yeah, it's right within you. right now. Where this was where I think the alter ego is genius in helping women tap into that spark, because if you come in curious, if you play, it helps you rekindle that imagination.
Well, I see you saying, like, and when you're using the chats, or even when we're when we're in a group Zoom or something, and you say, well, what's one decision that Queen has already done? What would Queen do? Like, if I'm thinking about something in my business or doing my calendar, and, I should be doing bills. I didn't do them today, and what would Queen do? Would she do it herself? Would she delegate? And suddenly you start thinking of all these things that the higher level would do. It's like, am I going to go to bed? No, just do that one more thing, because Queen would do the one more thing. She would. Queen would do the one more thing. Yeah.
What do you think the power of the alter ego work is?
It's mindset.
Yeah. Why do you think it's so powerful, though? We've done mindset work forever, but I think the alter ego is something that can so quickly see immediate change with. What do you think it is, having experienced it?
It becomes useful to others. I want to tell my story. I don't know how to tell my story. Well, let me share with you my journey. And this is where my journey becomes useful to somebody else. This is how I'm serving somebody else. I'm not waiting to get to that goal. I'll get there. But here's the little things I'm doing every day.
Yeah, it's because you're living it now.
You're living it now.
Because you're serving now. It like helps us bridge that gap from current to future. But why wait till we're here when we can live her now?
Live her now.
So what do you tell the woman that's on the fence about coming to build her alter ego?
Just do it. Come and find out. Find out what it really is. You may tell me one story and then you realize that wasn't the deeper issue. And find out as we undo this, hey, maybe you don't want to lose those 20 pounds. Maybe you want a life that is speaking and helping or being in the Peace Corps. And you just thought it were related to the weight. It wasn't the weight. You just needed something to step into to go out into the Peace Corps, or put it on display in a gallery, or you were just hiding behind the weight.
Christie and Kathy, thank you so much for showing up today and just being so open, honest, real, vulnerable with all of us. What really gets me about both of your stories is that both of you talking about becoming her, you're already speaking as her. I don't know, when you guys listen to this back, that'll be really fun for you to hear, but you're already talking like her. It's all present tense now. And yet you have that third party separation. It's the genius of it that it does that to the brain. And you guys are doing it over and over again and not stopping, right? Both of you are like, it's not about starting over, right? It's about not stopping and showing up over and over again. And both of you talked about how fun the journey has become and that weight loss is the byproduct. This is just what comes from us having fun and creating the life of our dreams, which who would have thought, Christie, I think you said that perfectly. Who would have thought weight loss could be an adventure I would enjoy? And that's what we do here. If you're listening, you're intrigued by this, I have a live masterclass this Sunday if you're listening real time. And come join us in Midlife Badassery, where we do the work now to step into being these women already living lives we love, not waiting until when, and not stopping when things do happen, like a weight gain or you have a setback of any sort. Is just part of the path. It's just a stepping stone. And we get up, we don't stop over and over again. And this is the work we do together. It's fun. And I just wanted to make sure you all know about it because I'm like, everybody has to do this. So come on, come join the crew. We'd love to have you. This is one of those things that can change the trajectory of your life forever. So let's go. There's no better time, you guys. If you're in Midlife Badassery, there's a free trial. You just come in and get it done and see what happens. Suspend your disbelief for a moment and dare to believe that the journey could be fun, that you can create this life of adventure. Thanks to both of these midlife badasses for showing up this week and sharing with all of us. I really enjoyed it. I know you guys did too. And I'll see you in the group. Hop on the ride because I'm not stopping and neither are these badass bitches. Let's go.